Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome back to the Jen Marples Show. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I hope you all had a beautiful break. And if you are new here, hello, welcome. I'm glad you are here. Hopefully, a good friend or some other fabulous woman recommended the show to you. We love when we share the show. So I'm going to start off right away by asking you all to share this show with people that you love, that are in your life, that you want to see grow and thrive, and you want to let them know that they're not too fucking old to go for what they want because they're not. And this show is the thing for them and it's for you. And it's, our whole mantra that you're not too fucking old is, my reason for being. It's why I wake up in the morning and do this show and do all the things that I do. So sharing is caring. And we want 2025 to be the year that we all rise and shine and go get what's ours. So I am so excited to kick off the year. And I want to share, this will be a quickie today because I know you're all busy getting back into it, but I wanted to share my top 5 reflections and sort of little bits of advice to kind of get us going and get pumped up about the new year. So before we get into that, I just want to welcome everyone if you are new. And just give you a little quick background about who I am. I'm Jen Marples. I'm your host. I've had this show, it's going to be called You're Not Too Fucking Old soon. So boom, the cat's out of the bag. I am changing the name of the show. But the Jen Marples Show has been around for 3 years. Our tagline, our mantra, our motto, our reason for living and being and breathing, like I said, is you're not too fucking old to do whatever the hell you want and go do the damn thing. And so this show is to empower you and to give you all the tools and resources. I bring on the most amazing guests. Women come on who are going to inspire you and also help us live our best lives. So we talk about mindset, we talk about health and wellness. We talk about work. We talk about relationships. We talk about kids. We talk about it all, anything that is relevant to us in the midlife world to help us truly live our best lives. And also to know that you're not alone. That is my big thing. None of us are dealing with anything alone. We've got each other and we're going through this life together. So that's why I've got the show. And I do events, and I've got the Jen Marples Agency, which was launched a year ago. And that is all structured and set up to help you, my friends, thrive in business and beyond. And so the agency supports you if you're just a baby entrepreneur wanting to get off the ground. We can help you do that. I also do one-on-one business coaching and advising if you need advice on getting started or growing and expanding your business or your profile. And if you want to get out there and expand your thought leadership, I'm your girl. I can help you do that. I've also got a whole extended team, a stable of beautiful, wonderful women that I rely on. We've got photographers and designers and web designers. I've got everybody, coaches, speakers, everything that you need to get you out there and to get seen and to be visible, because that should be our key word for the year is visibility. Because like I tell all the women I work with, if nobody sees you, nobody sees you, and you can't make the impact that you want to make. So there's that. So I'm here for you. Let me know if I can help you. And I also do a lot of speaking. So I just want to throw that out there that actually it's really cool. Like this year's barely started and 2 women have reached out to have me, one to keynote a group and another one to speak to a group of executives about women supporting women. So, my number one thing I love to talk about, of course, is, ageism and you're not too fucking old and we get to go for our dreams. The other important thing I like to talk about is women supporting women, because that is the way. We're all about collaboration at this age, not competition. So if you've got a women's group or you are within an organization, hit me up. I would love to come speak to your group. And so, there is no speaking gig too large or too small, because it makes me happiest being in front of dynamic women and meeting all of you and, getting everybody pumped up that we get to do this fabulous life together. All right. So today, 5 reflections, little bits of advice to kick us off and to really enter this new year, calm, cool, collected with a couple little reminders and get some spark going. Okay. Number 1, Demi Moore's speech. That's its own point. If you haven't seen it from the Golden Globes, find it, Google it, look at my Instagram at Jen Marples. I posted something. It's a condensed version of her speech, but she really gave us the speech that all of us midlife women need right now. And the key point of that was that in society's eyes, we're never going to be enough. Because guess what? We're always told you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too old, you're too young, you're too this, you're too that. Like enough already. So that was the main point of her speech. And she was, she's told you're never going to be enough. And then we've got to she said, put down that measuring stick, meaning we've got to stop comparing ourselves to each other. And we've got to know that there is enough to go around. And that guess what? When one of us rises, we all rise. Okay. Full stop. And this is my favorite part. Demi Moore is 62. And she was, put in a box. She had all these executives put her in a box of like her perceived sort of limits of where she could go and what she could achieve as an actress. And meanwhile, she did pack them in and make a lot of studios a lot of money, but she was told she was a popcorn actress. It's the same as being told, you're too pretty or you're too this or you're too fucking that. Like, whatever, we're done with that. We're done with people placing limitations on us. And she just said, and she bought into it. Like we all have bought into it. And so it's like break free from that and go for it. And she said she had never won any awards, 0 awards. And she's probably one of the hardest working actresses in Hollywood. And she's 62. And so great. We should all take that award with her because we all are working hard and we might never get any awards or accolades, but just know that it's never too late and you're not too old. And please go look up her entire speech and it will pump you up. And she does a better job of me than, of course, giving her own speech. So go look that up because it's never too late. You're not too old. And we've just got to break free from the chains of society and we make our own rules. Okay. We make our own rules. Number 2, and I think this one is really important. This is all about sort of this man-made construct calendar. It's January 1, meaning you've got to go be fabulous and go like lose weight and start a business and start to date and like drink more water and blah, 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 blah. I've never bought into that. The world really wants you to buy into that. It's kind of like everyone's been shot out of a cannon and then it makes you feel guilty if you're kind of like tiptoeing into the new year. I mean, this is dropping at the first official week of the new year. And my kids just went back to school today. I've got a son who's not even leaving for a few days till the weekend to go back to college. My husband fell on a trip with my son in Mammoth and fractured his ribs. So we're starting the year off a little slow and it's okay. So instead of letting things like the societal expectations of new year, let's go, goals, let's crush it. There's a whole year ahead of us. Okay. There's a whole year. And like I said, the calendar is a man-made construct. Like somebody put together a calendar just so we have organization, but it doesn't really mean anything. Like you get to go when it feels right for you to go. I'm personally looking at the Lunar New Year to kind of kick things off because I kind of like doing things by the planets and the moon and all of that. And it makes more sense to me to kind of ease into it versus coming out because, I got nothing. We're dealing with getting kids out the door and I'm playing nursemaid in addition to working and everything else that we're doing. So the point here is take the pressure off, enter the new year when you want to enter the new year. You get to take the time for you and you get to figure out when you're going to press play and press go. Okay. It doesn't need to be right at the beginning of January. Okay. And number 3, and this kind of relates to number 2, you get to begin again and again and again and again and again. So just because you do something and you realize, oh, that wasn't for me, or maybe I failed, which again, that's just a lesson. If you're not failing, that means you're not trying and you're not doing. Just know you get to begin again and again and again and again. So if today just sucks, begin again tomorrow, whatever. Let's take the pressure off of ourselves. Let's make this the year that we stop beating ourselves up and put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect and do things the right way. And to we're looking around at everybody else going, well, she's got it all figured out or blah, blah, blah. Let's make this the year of getting rid of all that shit. Okay. Let's stop looking around. Let's stop comparing. And let's just know that we get to begin again and again and again. There is no end. There's no end to anything. Y'all know if you've been around here, I'm 55. I'm going to keep beginning again and again and again and again. Because once we stop, where does that put us? Then we're just not in motion anymore. We're not learning. We're not growing. We're not changing. So we get to change. We get to grow. We get to begin again and again and again. So what you might start up this year or continue on this year might not be the thing you do next year. It's fine. Just trust that everything that you're doing is all part of your path. And so if negative things are happening, like I look at, I'll just use my husband, for example, falling down. So what's the lesson in that? Instead of going, woe is me and oh shit, well, you know, maybe we do need to really sit back and look at our health and really truly make lifting weights and, eating more protein a priority. So we don't break bones and we don't have fractured ribs because we've fallen on the ice. True story. Poor guy. But there's nothing you can do about it now. I was telling him. So just, all right, once you're back at it, then let's add in some things as a family of how we can be a little bit healthier and do things that are going to help with our longevity. So turn sort of the lemons into lemonade. So instead of thinking like, why is this happening to me? It's happening for me. And it's just a wake up call. It's a really healthy way to be instead of going, woe is me, woe is me. Okay, what's the learning? What's the learning? What's the learning? And it just sets you up for sort of a better mindset around things that happen in life, because we have a lot of shit that happens and goes down in midlife. So what's the learning? But again, you get to begin again and again and again and again. So don't worry. So just start. Okay. Number 4, like my friend Bonnie Wan says, let's get clear on what you want. She was a guest on the show last year, and so we'll link to that in the show notes. And she has this beautiful book, The Life Brief. If you are watching this on YouTube with me, it's right there. It's this beautiful book. So she goes into the whole life brief. I'm not going to get into that, but her life brief starts with this one piercing question, and it's the thing that popped up to me because I'm sitting with myself on Friday. And I'm having sort of a solo CEO day. And I'm sitting with myself and I'm going to ask myself, what do I want? And I want you all to do the same thing. Ask yourself what you truly want. It's not what you think you should want. It's not what your husband wants, your partner wants, society, your job, your best friend. Listen to yourself. Get really quiet and don't put any judgments on it and see what pops up. I'm doing this on Friday and I'll report back in a future podcast, but I've done this exercise a number of times. And it's truly one of the hardest questions you can ask yourself, because you've got to peel back so many layers. You've got to keep peeling and so peel back. And it's something you might have to come back to, but just ask yourself what you want. Ask yourself what you want and see what happens. Okay, number 5. I told you this was going to be quick. Of course, you know probably what this one is going to be, and it's you're not too fucking old. So let this finally be the year that you know that you're not too old. Okay, so this actually goes right back into the first point I made with Demi Moore being 62. Yours truly, who's built a whole business on you're not too fucking old, still some days feel like I'm too fucking old. I'm not going to lie to you. Because it's decades of programming. It's all around us. It's impossible not to hear the inputs. It's just impossible not to hear. So you have to actively say, that's society. That is not a real thought, because I'm not too old. You're not too old. None of us are too old to do whatever we want. So it's a practice. And so you have to get yourself into the practice of going, okay, if I'm feeling something negative, I've got to push it aside, or I've got to listen to another one of Jen's podcasts, or I've got to watch another Demi Moore speech, because truly, I was kind of crawling into this new year on my hands and knees with everything going on in our house, but watching her speech and going, okay, she's 62. So I'm, looking ahead. Anything is possible, y'all. It ain't over. And I'm going to be super transparent here. When I started all this a couple of years ago, I thought I was going to be late and this was all going to be over and I had to do this by a certain age and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? It's just all a bunch of bullshit. It's just that programming. So you've just got to peel back the programming. In fact, I have an author coming on next week that I'm going to be interviewing tomorrow, actually. And she wrote her book and totally changed her life and business at over 60. And she's just getting started on, 2.0. So I just want to keep hammering this into you, because I'm hammering it into myself as well, that we're not too old. It's not too late. And you get to do what you want. Like I said, YNTFO is going to be a verb, and you're going to see a lot more from me moving forward. So you're just going to be hit over the head, left, right, and center. So anytime you falter, you're like, oh, holy shit, Jen's there. And she's telling me I'm not too fucking old, like all the time. You won't even have to wait weekly. Make sure you're following me on socials at Jen Marples. I am going all the way the hell in on this because it is truly my life's work. And it's so important that you know that you're not too old because it's dangerous. It's actually dangerous to feel like you're too old because guess what? You're going to be unhappy. You might not go for that job you want. You might not start that company you want. You might not go out and find real, true love. You might not take that risk. You might not take that trip. Like, I want you to YNTFO like your life depends on it because it does. And guess what? We get to have fun. We get to have fun. I was watching some video about Gen Xers. Hello, we're Gen X. We're like Pearl Jam. We're like 80s music, Depeche Mode. Like we're Nirvana. We used to rock out like Scorpions. Come on, who's with me? And we're going to be put out to pasture. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Okay. So do what you need to do. Watch those Gen X videos because, sorry, no, all of us who smoke clubs and drink Diet Pepsi. Yeah, this is a true story. Listen to Depeche Mode. And remember how we got through finals? We stayed up all night. And like, I remember I wrote out my papers and took them to a typist. I was an English major. Like it's going to take a lot to put us down. Okay. Like no, you're not, no, we're Gen X. I'm really feeling identified with Gen X. I mean, like 1969, Gen X, like we're the rebels, like we raised ourselves. I raised my sisters. Sorry. I've got half my life left. 55, I'm going to 100. You ain't seen nothing yet. I want you all to embrace this, please, because it's the goddamn truth. All right, I'm going to recap all this for you. So as a recap, here are my top 5 little bits of advice here to kick off 2025 the way we need to be kicking it off. Number 1, stop comparing yourself to others. Know it's not too late. Know that, in society's eyes, you're never going to be enough because never in the history of time have we been enough. And that's the great news. So just be your own beautiful self and go for it. It's not too late. You're not too old. And like our friend Demi Moore at 62 winning the Golden Globe, girl, we got time. Let's go for it. Number 2, the new year, a calendar, it's a construct. It really means nothing. You enter the year when you want to enter the year. Just because the clock clicked onto January doesn't mean all of a sudden you have to have your life figured out. Trust me on this one. You get to enter the year when you want to. Number 3, you get to begin again and again and again and again and again. It's the good news. So wake yourself up tomorrow. If today wasn't great, wake yourself up tomorrow. Begin again, begin again, begin again. Number 4, get clear on what you want. This is really important. Take as much time as you need, but sit with yourself and get clear with what you want. Thank you, Bonnie Wan, for that tip. And number 5, you're not too fucking old. We are going to YNTFO the heck out of this year. You are perfect just the way you are. It's not too late. You're never too old. And you, my friend, get to go do whatever it is the heck you want. Trust me on this one. All right. Oh, I've got wonderful guests coming back next week, you all. I hope you enjoyed this quickie, and please, share this with a friend. Let's get some new friends in the YNTFO world, and let's really, truly get this movement going. I mean, the fire has been lit for YNTFO, and I want this really to explode because the more women on fire, midlife or not, the better the world will be. So let's please share this with a friend. And if you want bonus points and, brownie points for, gold stars for starting off the year, if you want to leave a review, that would be great on Apple, or leave a 5-star rating on Spotify. I would really appreciate that. But let's just fucking go. Let's go. You're not too fucking old. You're not too fucking old. You're not too fucking old. I believe in you. I love you. This is going to be a great year. It's going to be the year of women rising. We're all going to do this together. And when one of us rises, we all rise. Just don't ever forget that. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in us, because we're all going to do this together. We're going to collaborate. There's no competing anymore. We're collaborating. We're rising together. I love you. And I cannot wait to see what unfolds this year for all of us. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next week with a fresh new guest. Take the best care of yourselves, please. And I'll see you next week. I love you. Bye.